Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of She-Hulk. That's not the right She-Hulk. Hang on a second. Okay. I have now watched the correct She-Hulk. So let's talk about the episode. It was called Ribbit and Rip It. And it opens on Leapfrog trying to thwart a robbery. Leapfrog is a character from the Marvel comic books. And he fails miserably at this and manages to get injured by what he believes to be a defective supersuit made by Luke, the same tailor that Jen goes to. And Jen is required by her boss to take the case because he wants to sue, despite the fact that she doesn't want to piss off the tailor by representing someone who's suing him, because she feels like he won't want to make her clothes anymore and he's the only one who really can. But she's forced to do it, so she goes up against Luke's lawyer, who happens to be Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, who in court senses that Leapfrog had used fuel in his suit because the suit can fly with jet boots, which he wasn't supposed to use, a kind of fuel he wasn't supposed to use. And this, of course, invalidates his case. But Luke is still pissed at Jen, so he says he's not going to work for her anymore. Matt then meets up with Jen at the bar later and talks with her about how she's in a unique position where she can help people as a lawyer when people fail people or when society fails people, and then also help people as She-Hulk when the law fails them, which is what he does. Just as Matt is departing the bar to handle something that come up with his work, Jen gets a call from Todd, who says he has an urgent legal issue, which apparently stems from the fact that he bought a Wakandan spear at auction, which had previously been stolen and which the Wakandan government wants back. It also seems that he only called her because he's still trying to date her or whatever. But she says, yeah, no thanks, and she storms out of there. When she gets home, she gets a call from Leapfrog, who has somehow managed to embroil himself in a situation where he's being chased. So Jen puts on the supersuit that Luke made for her, turns into She-Hulk, and goes to help him, at which point she again encounters Mr. Murdock, but this time as Daredevil, and a fight ensues, in which she hurls a car at Daredevil and then manages to incapacitate him with a huge thunderclap, which I guess she figured out how to do since she last tried it with Bruce. This, of course, is followed by her unmasking him and realizing that Daredevil is Matt, at which point they have a funny conversation before he reveals that Leapfrog has kidnapped Luke the tailor, which led to him, I guess, being chased in his car, which is what was happening. Anyway, they go together to rescue him, and there's another funny conversation before they infiltrate Leapfrog's lair, during which Matt basically owns the crap out of Jen, even though there's clear sexual tension between them. This is followed by Daredevil taking out some of the goons with stealth, but not managing to take them all out because Jen drops to the ceiling and smashes a bunch of them all at once. This was followed by yet another funny scene where both he and She-Hulk take out the remaining guards together while simultaneously rescuing Luke and admonishing Leapfrog, who then flees the scene through a window, hurting himself, yelling out his, I guess, catchphrase of action, which is "Rip it and rip it," which is hilarious because he's a total goober. Luke, of course, is then grateful for having been rescued and agrees to continue making clothes for Jen. In the aftermath, Jen and Daredevil have a little chat, which leads to coitus between them, followed by Matt doing the walk of shame in the Daredevil suit, which is kind of funny. At this point, even though the episode feels like it should be over, which Jen notes in a funny fourth wall break, it actually isn't, and we end up going to a gala that Jen is going to because she was nominated for Female Attorney of the Year. But of course, the gala turns out to be not such a good time, because not only does Jen have to share the award with all the other people nominated as they are all declared the winner, but because intelligentsia hacks into the video screen being used by the gala to accuse Jen of all kinds of things, including stealing her powers from the Hulk and being a slut, which they back up by showing footage of her going to bed with Josh, which of course Josh must have obtained when they had coitus together. This, of course, enrages Jen, and she smashes the giant screen as everybody freaks out and runs from the facility, including some of the intelligentsia operators who were there, I guess, to see her reaction, whom she ends up catching one of by running out of the building right through a wall. Right before the episode ends with law enforcement officers of some kind holding her at gunpoint with some kind of super duper high tech looking weapons. So I really enjoyed this episode. I don't understand people who don't love this show. I know there are certain aspects about it that aren't the best, but these last few episodes, like I guess ever since the third or fourth episode, it's really found its humor and the chemistry, the on screen chemistry between Daredevil and She-Hulk was just awesome. You really believe that these are two people who clicked. And the way those scenes were written were fantastic, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed this episode. The whole leapfrog thing was hilarious. The Luke guy was hilarious in this episode, just as he was in the prior episode that he was in. It just really worked, and I just think the show is very good. The courtroom stuff that they've done all season long has actually been good. And it's funny because the writers came out and said, well, we can't really write court stuff. We're not good at it. Well, they are, because it was good. It was well done in this episode, and it has been in all the previous episodes. So I just really like this show, and I'm looking forward to the season finale next week. I, of course, will be back to give a review. I'm going to get out of here. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.